Hello and welcome to another edition of Moments with Mindleaps. My name is Rebecca Davis and I'm the Executive Director of Mindleaps, and I'm so pleased to be welcoming another guest with us on our regular Friday session. Today we're going to be meeting with Anna Defent. Anna is a Canadian dancer who is spending her time traveling around the world building a fascinating career from contemporary dance in Canada, bringing her to London in the UK, where she's been involved with multiple companies, and then back to Canada again, and then every once in a while finding herself in Africa with Mindleaps and other organizations. So today we're really pleased to be hearing the stories of Anna Defent on this regular program where we have the opportunity to work with researchers and artists and dancers and creatives from around the world to learn more about what people are doing to build their communities. And at this particular time, what we really want to be doing is highlighting how dancers are using their work around the world to really enhance the way that dance can take one step further and help to create brands and bonds of social justice and build communities, whether or not that means at home or in new places where these dancers find themselves everywhere in the world today, trying to make everything feel as important and as normal as we welcoming Anna to join us today on Moments with Mindleaps. Hi Anna, how are you?
Hi Rebecca, I'm good, thanks. Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you too. You look beautiful.
Oh, thanks. It's the tan, Canadian glow now.
Thank you so much for joining us. I was telling our viewers that we're really pleased to have the chance to speak with a Canadian dancer who's built her career in all of these different countries, always leveraging your beautiful talent on stage with contemporary dance. So thank you so much for sharing some of your stories with us today.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me. It's been so long.
It's been like so long, and I think the last time we saw each other, we were running somewhere in West Africa with a lot of little girls around us. So this is maybe a better chance for us to catch up.
Yes, I think we're in Mauritania with little ones running around.
That sounds to me like my strong memory of talking to you. So Anna, tell us a little bit about how you've built all of these opportunities, and now here you are as a professional dancer, but there's something somewhere that might have first connected you to dance, connected to your passion, your love of the art form, and now looking at the arts in so many new and different ways. But how did that all start for you in your life?
It all started when I was a little girl, for sure. Everyone always dreams of being a princess or like a fairy of some sort, and I think I really grasped that as a kid, and it really spoke to me. And then in school and everything, I just never, schooling wasn't for me, math wasn't my subject, history wasn't my subject, but moving definitely, made me feel more like me. And then I had that bond immediately, and then it flourished with dance, and I've been with it, and then it just grew with me.
That's really beautifully put. We've heard a couple of our dancers say, school wasn't my subject.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
But you would never know that, because when I've seen you work in all of these different places around the world, I see you using all of these different academic skills and teaching a lot of these concepts to our youth. So maybe it wasn't your subject when you were in school at that time, but it definitely became your subject at some point.
I think it almost helped me. Movement made me more patient and more there to then flourish in more academics later in life. Does that make sense?
Completely. That
it made me evolve as a human instead of.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
That connection, I think, back and forth, how the school or the academic side reinforces the creative and expressive side and vice versa. There's some happy bond between those two worlds when they marry each other.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, I felt it later in life. It wasn't until I was older that I felt that, but it's definitely there.
I love what you say that it helped you evolve as a human being. I mean, it's so perfect and what all of us need today right now around the world.
Yeah. It made me not just as a dancer or as Anna, but actually as a human.
So tell us a little bit with all of the different professional experiences you've had. I know you've spent a lot of time in the UK, but also built your career and your training in Canada and other countries as well. Highlight for us a couple of those professional experiences and how that helped you make you Anna, the human that you are today that's so special.
Yeah, I guess it's just interesting to like think that dance can go further than your like where you based it. So I've always started dance in Canada, and that was my base, and that's where I thought I was meant to be. But it's crazy to think that everyone dances. So then, as soon as I went to like England, not knowing anyone, but you can relate to people because we all dance together, and we all shared that same like movement bond. And then you fit right in right away, and you don't feel as lonely because you have this like this family and this community everywhere, even though you don't know their names. But you know how to plie and tendu together, and it's really magical. And I guess that's kind of happened like all through Europe now. And then like this is like once I finally got to like Africa, the same thing. It's crazy that we wouldn't speak the same language, but as soon as the music came on, we could all dance together.
Yeah, the universality of it is so unique and I think so powerful. I mean, we talk about the arts, and of course, like all of the arts are phenomenal, but the fact that language really does remove that, like the dance completely removes that language barrier, just gives it like that extra sense of being able to welcome new people. It's so cool to hear you talk about that experience that you've had going to London, where like even like the language is the same or a little bit the same as what we speak in Canada. But still, like the idea of being a foreigner and being somebody from the outside is just completely different and makes you still a stranger until you have that moment inside the studio or inside the dance space.
Yeah, it's definitely that. Like you can almost feel alone when you're in travel.
Yeah.
Or like lost or just a bit unsure what's next. But it's crazy that like if you find a dance studio, you find home.
Well, you've been collecting a very good and a very large and growing international family around the world, Anna. So you should never feel alone.
And I have to thank the internet because it's made me stay in touch with a lot of them.
That's certainly true. Even our friends here, I see our friends joining from Rwanda.
I know, I see Eugene there. Hi, Eugene.
They keep asking because they've all had the chance to meet you, but not in their home country. So they keep asking when you're going to spend more time in Rwanda with Mindleaps.
I know. I need to get there. It's next on the list, Rebecca.
Ooh, now we're recording, so it has to happen.
Now it's like in the universe. It has to happen.
So tell us a little bit about how you ended up in West Africa, because you've been in two Mindleaps countries for a longer period of time, in Mauritania and Guinea, working with our programs that are always growing in West Africa. Tell us a little bit about what that was like for you. It's certainly not the UK. It's certainly not Canada.
Definitely warmer than Canada. If anyone's
so much warmer. Maybe like a memory or a story that stands out. I know it's difficult to narrow it down, but maybe a few things that have really been imprints on your memory.
Yeah. So yeah, I started in Guinea, and that was very interesting. I just remember landing in Guinea and looking for miles and miles and being like, where am I? Like, could not see anything but like the tumbleweed. And I was like, ooh, where did I end up? And then finally getting into the city though and seeing all the colors and the liveliness, it like instantly changed. But yeah, a fond memory though. Oof. Ibrahim one day was like mind blown that I've never eaten a coconut. So he instantly just got up and like obviously everyone knows Ibrahim and he's so near to me, but like he just climbed up this tree and just got a coconut and just like brought it back down. I was like, here. And I was like, this would just not happen in Canada, and it just made me feel so included instantly because then I just wanted to share this with me. It's such a weird memory, but such a fond one. Because we don't think of that, like where we come from. To, like, just climb up a tree.
I think it's so interesting how kind of like the very unusual moments where you're just living life in a new country surrounded by new people And then it really summarizes, like, for you yourself, how different everything is for us and how normal it is for everyone living there. It's
Yeah.
like a very, very perfect summary of that kind of experience.
And it's all the like little things that I took away from Africa that like make my experience better. Because obviously I know I went there with the intention of teaching kids and doing this, but like leaving with these little cute memories of like coconuts or dancing together, it like those are the things I cherish now.
Yeah. And for those of you who are not familiar with Ibrahim, Ibrahim is one of the Mindleaps trainers in Guinea.
Yes.
He's a core team member. Now he's actually the team lead for our group in Guinea. And he grew up through the Mindleaps program. He was one of our first kids in the program when we were working in a different city called Kindia. And now is a main trainer in Conakry. And one of, like, as you know, Anna better than me, one of our trainers who's always asking for more technique and more training and trying to learn as much as he can.
Yeah,
while grabbing coconuts.
We spent many a nights after classes of him wanting to like make duets together or do other things. So he's constantly moving.
Yeah, that's the right way to describe him, constantly moving. And then after spending some time with our team in Guinea, then you went on to Mauritania, also in West Africa, which is a very different experience.
Yes.
Share with us a little bit about either the contrast you found or a different memory that stands out from you with your time in Nouakchott.
Yeah, so definitely different cities, different everything. We worked with a lot of the girls there, which was fun to like get to know the girls. And as you know, they all wear like head coverings a lot in Mauritania, which is just part of their religion and their beliefs. But the girls, it was amazing to watch them finally get comfortable with me. And I knew I got there when they would take these head coverings off. And I like finally felt like part of the girl gang almost. I was like, they feel comfortable with me. And it was like a real like groundbreaking moment to see them like wear scarves. So that was like definitely one of my favorite memories there.
Yeah, definitely. The experience there is completely different than Guinea, and I know that you've really been a fundamental part of helping us shape that program. We work with this wonderful man named C. Jabril there and his organization called SOS Près du Coutures. And C has 4 young girls. And for those of you who don't know, all of these 4 girls have decided that Anna is their lifelong ballet teacher. And whenever I'm there, these girls are asking me, when are you sending back my ballet teacher, Rebecca?
The amount of nights I spent saying the alphabet in English with them and learning pliés and pirouettes is...
That sounds like a great childhood. Pliés and the alphabet song all together. So now...
Made a lot of sense.
So they see Anna. So now when they go to school, like then academics is going to be their subject too because of their dance teacher, you.
There you go.
So now Anna, the world is totally different now outside of Mauritania and Guinea and everywhere with COVID-19, with Black Lives Matter, with a lot of countries going through transitions and everybody, especially artists, trying to figure out their new place in the world right now. Tell us a little bit about where did you find yourself at the beginning of COVID? What is your new plan? Everyone I talk to is making new plans all the time. Where do you see yourself now and what's the next step?
I think that's an ongoing daily question for myself, which some days I'm okay with and other days not. But at the beginning of COVID, it was very hard. I went to London, England, and then got sent back to Canada on like one of the last flights out. So that was very strange and new to me, but I am happy to be in my home country. But COVID, being an artist, it's very different. And I think a lot of people can't relate to us unless they are an artist because our lives have definitely changed a lot more and the arts are like one of the last to come back. Yeah. And I think it's difficult because like we work our whole lives to get to this point and like we finally call ourselves dancers. And with COVID right now, I struggle saying that. Like I like don't feel like a dancer all the time. But then like connecting back with old friends like you, Rebecca, is definitely making me feel more artsy. But I think that's the biggest struggle is like one day you can see an end at kind of the tunnel, but like right now I don't see the light some days. I like don't know when it's gonna end, like, but it's getting there.
I so appreciate your honesty and transparency. One of the things that has been really, I don't know, like a humbling experience, I guess, for me during COVID is speaking with so many dancers who are so like honest and real and sometimes brutally so about the situation.
Yeah, it's like
really,
it's coming from like a different spot almost, I think, from an artist.
I think so too. It's grounded in reality and it's also emotional.
Yeah.
And artists are not afraid to say that.
We just like let it all out, don't we? But I think it's hard with the news and the media changing daily is, I think, difficult for like all people, but especially artists right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know from working with you how well you preserve your body, you train your body to always be in top condition. And it's like you watch the news one day and you're like, I'm going back on stage. And you watch the news the next day and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take off the shoes again. It's like, I don't know how you like keep your head so clear for training at a time like this.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think it is that like that good and bad days. Like some days I'm like right in there and the next day I'm like, let's just sit on the couch.
I mean, probably we could take like moments with Mindleaps and put them all together where dancers have said it's exactly like this roller coaster.
Yeah.
And trying to find that like stability when there's no stability or predictability.
Yeah, and I think it's the same with like teaching kids and stuff too. That I think kids are constantly on this roller coaster too. So.
Absolutely. I mean, and there's some sort of strange unifying element to that, where everybody's trying to like live these lives and make goals, always knowing that they have to keep changing everything.
Yes.
Yeah, you're in good company. So, Anna, one of the things that kind of ties to this idea, and I think that you could shed a lot of light on for us, is, you know, these young dancers who are coming up through the world and you know, following careers like you did, you know, like very good classical training, multidisciplinary, good schools in Canada, and then off you go, like building up your professional credentials and hitting this hugely high level that's also stable with the frequency of your jobs. But now people are kind of wondering, you know, how do you do that? How do you find dance jobs that are maybe pushing you outside of your normal comfort zone and giving you these experiences? Like, I don't like really, Anna, like, I don't know how you did it, how you ended up finding these different parts that make you such a holistic artist. Tell us a little bit about what advice you would give to these younger dancers, or how you did it so we can steal your secrets.
Steal my vibe. I think the best part is, and like the most, it's like being confident and going out there. Like if I held back at any point and just didn't, like at the end of a class, if I didn't go up and introduce myself or say hi or like bring myself to get involved, I wouldn't be where I was. Mm-hmm. Like you can't hide in the back. You have to take that step forward, and take a leap. You got to take that leap forward. Or you just won't get there. And I think my biggest jump was like when I finished school, I wanted to travel. And then once I moved, like had to be my own person, that's what made me like get out there and almost like become more confident and like want to be me in a different country and start. And then once you get to know people, those people will tell other people about you, and like you build this huge train. And that's what gets you jobs now. It's all about knowing people and like getting your name out there. So I think for all those young dancers who like training who's kind of stopped, like I think you have to just keep training. Like keep dancing in your living room, keep dancing outside. And know that like it is a hard time, but like there is gonna be an end, and like it will recover, and dance will always be a part of the world. So get it out there.
Yeah, Anna, I think like what you say about kind of forcing yourself to be confident, and so many young dancers are really confident when they're dancing and then forget that actually part of it is going up to the teacher after class. It's such a good tangible example that you give, and then actually understanding that each network builds the next network. And I like this idea of kind of like a train of opportunities.
The train, because like even like we both taught a lot, Rebecca, and like you always remember that one student that comes up and even just says thank you, and then you're like, I remember now. So it's the little things in life that like get you further.
Yeah, and even outside of like a dance context too, I think absolutely that's advice like all of us need to hear. And it's interesting also how you kind of link it back to what we were saying at the beginning, like, you know, how dance makes you human. And it also allows you to then build all of these relationships together and really broaden it out to go that next step and have the community impact. So it's not just about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not just all like in a dance studio. Like you humanize it by like chatting, and which is like nerve-wracking to do. I get like you can be shy, scared, but if you go in there, like you'll get there.
And then just like you said, then you end up like Anna. You have this huge international family around the world where you've gone into these situations where you don't know anyone, but you find your dance studio and your new alphabet and your plies, and it becomes like this ever-growing family.
Yeah, and I will never get stuck anywhere because I have an abundance of couches to crash.
Which couldn't be more useful at a time like this.
This is true. The board.
Anna, you've really helped us like think tonight about like all of these different pieces kind of the journey, about the power of the arts and humanizing us, and then also like this thought that you leave us with now, how dance will always be a part of the world. And I know there's so many dancers going up and down in this journey that you talk about, where some days you don't really feel like a dancer, but you also remind us that actually there will always be a place for dance.
Yeah. And it's always in you. Once a dancer, always a dancer. Absolutely.
Our friends here are writing in the chat that you have to come to Rwanda, so they definitely heard your early appeal.
Rebecca, we got to get on it.
That's going to be our next conversation for sure.
We'll have to do it again.
Anna, thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you for sharing with us these secrets and these tips so we can keep pushing forward and remembering that once a dancer, always a dancer.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so nice seeing you again.
I hope next time we see each other, it's with a bunch of kids around us.
Yeah, we can hug.
Thank you so much, Anna. We look forward to talking to you soon. Okay, stay strong. Thank you.